oh, actually, our destiny is shaped by some things that have happened and in our life, and the most tremendous transformations happen when you break up with someone. A
Yeah.
significant event has to happen in their life to shake them up, to make them want to take on that change. If you're coming from a place of content and fulfillment, then that person's going to recognize you for that. This person might already be in environments that you're already going to. You just weren't awake to it before, right?
Hi everyone, I'm Camilo Torres, and welcome again to Flow Community Podcast. In here, we're going to have a great conversation with the amazing people that has joined our community. We're going to get a lot of inspirations from their life journeys, passions, creations, because we believe that when you share your unique story, you can inspire others. So please enjoy this new episode. And also, I would love to invite you to join our community for more inspiration, or if you would like to be part of this community, please go to our website, flowwithcommunity.com. Thank you. So please welcome Johnny. Hi, Johnny Cassell.
Hey, Camilla, thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming here and be part of the community and to join this podcast. It's very interesting. I have read your website and what you do, helping people through the dating and their personal development. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've dedicated a lot of my life, my working life, to transforming people,
Okay.
helping people get to a place where they need in their dating life, their social life, mental clarity on past events that may have happened to them, image transformation, and just taking a look through life through a different lens. So, of course, you can only really teach the depths you've gone yourself. So it's a journey that I've gone on. I think everyone goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Just maybe some people have the ability to break it down in a digestible and understanding way more than others. So that's a little bit about what I do. I mean, there's lots that we can go into, but yeah.
So what took you there? Like what? I mean, if you want to say it from your life journey, what was the decision maker? What happened in your life to go through?
Yeah, it's a great
That?
question. You were a bit late to my talk the other day, but it's okay.
Yes.
You're forgiven. um,
Next time I will go to your event.
yeah, but and I've told my story so many times, and every time I tell my story, I look to sort of look at it at different angles to make it more interesting for myself to tell. And the other day I decided to really zoom in on the fact that when I was like 3 or 4 years old, I think I was only 3 years old, something ridiculously young. As a family, we were moving home, and you're filled with such innocence in order. You're not even programmed. You haven't been conditioned or anything at that stage yet. And I'm standing there in the front of the house, and I'm just waving to the neighbours, going, "Hello, my name's John. What's your name?" Right.
Okay.
So
Good.
it looked like I was off to a good start.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, if you were to like completely like not look at the rest of the stuff that happened in my life and just took that, like, yeah, sure, this guy, of course, he was always going to do what he does now, you know. Um, but of course, stuff happens to us in life. We have knockbacks, and then we start to view the world in a different light, and it questions our own reality, and then we live with this new reality constructed on experiences that we've had. And those experiences that I had, which knocked my confidence, was school life. The early years I went to mixed school, primary school, and then in high school was an all boys school for like 5 years. But the primary years, I don't know, maybe I just went in a bit too cocksure with that confidence, and certain girls had a bit of attitude to them, and But whatever happened, I was physically abused by girls at school. Right, so I was going
Oh
home with
no.
like bruises all over my legs and stuff like this. Mum had to go down to the headmaster's office and like, look, what's going on? These girls are doing this, and I forgot about all that. Like for years, I didn't even. That was just not something I was conscious of that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And then when we learn more about psychology, we
Mm-hmm.
understand that actually, our destiny is shaped by some things that have happened and in our life, and um,
Because traumas.
traumas, memories that stay in our
Mm-hmm.
subconscious.
Mm-hmm.
So then, when I was coming to the age of being interested, in dating, I'm starting to notice girls in my life, but I'm also noticing the inner experiences. I'm having resistance to going to talk to someone that I find attractive, and it's all linked. It's all linked
Yes.
to those
Yeah.
experiences. And so when you're faced with situations like that, you really have to give yourself the opportunity to wipe the slate clean
Mm-hmm.
and form a new reality. And the brain likes evidence, so you have to give the brain new evidence. And it's going to be rocky, it's going to be uncomfortable, but you have to go that way. But the first step is you have to take responsibility for where you are. It's not anyone else's fault. I'm thankful that I had those experiences, actually, as mad as it
Mm-hmm.
sounds,
Mm-hmm.
because it pushed me towards a tremendous area of growth. So those were the early years, like childhood stuff. I can go deeper into like the parentals and stuff, but
Yeah, let me, before you go in that,
yeah,
me personally, I've been going through my journey of self-love, which that journey, it's make me realize about my traumas when I was a kid. And as you said, sometimes we forget about that, or we want just to delete them from our memories, adult memories. But then when you come back to those and you start seeing that inner child that happened, that situation, and you're starting like understand what's happening and how with that situation reflects to your adult life, and how to manage. I feel like it's no, I will never forget what happened to me when I was a kid, because it makes me strong and makes me who I am at the moment. um, and it's important just to work on those, on this the past situation and the current situation, and make it better.
yeah.
um, Nice, very
It's something
interesting.
we can all relate to. And I think
Yes.
as we get older, we're mature enough to actually, you know, some of us, some may need help, but to sort of take a step back and look at things objectively. Like, can I be mad or upset about those girls that caused me that sort of grief at an early age? No, because they were like,
Mm-hmm.
who knows anything about the world at that age? They're immature,
Mm-hmm.
and I was probably immature and said something, and those were the outcomes. So yeah, you got to look at things objectively. Um, but yeah, like mum, she lost her mother at an early age. So like my grandmother was 30 when she passed. So that left my mum with a void in terms of love. On her father's side, well, he just has not been present throughout the majority of her life, like 30 years or more.
Mm-hmm.
Put all his attention into um, his new love interest. Um, so when someone's going through the world with um, not that level of love in their life, then what happens is you become you may have effect on your self-esteem.
Mm-hmm.
So consequently, I've actually seen my mum live a life with a lot of social anxiety. She's got a
Mm-hmm.
lot better now. So I've seen how limited life can be. She's happy, she's content in with the way she lives.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but that's also part of the DNA within me as to why I'm doing what I'm doing. it's a mixture of these early childhood experiences, the parentals, inheriting that, um, and wanting to help as many people as I possibly can, um, the struggle in this area of their life.
Wow, very interesting.
It's crazy how it's just like it's all linked.
I have a experience that happened to me the last month or something like that. I was talking about my traumas, and this person say, "Well, I don't have any traumas when I was a kid," and I feel like when that person answered that, um, I I mean, trauma could be you cut your finger or something. I don't know. I feel
Getting bitten by the dog or something.
exactly something like that. That could reflect to you. And I feel like traumas are good for us. I mean, traumas, past experiences, sad, bad, happy, makes us who we are at the moment.
It's character building, right? It shapes you.
Yeah, it shapes you. And without that, you wouldn't be anyone, I feel like.
Well, look, I mean, I've seen the most, and you only have to take stock of like your own experiences. But if you look at a breakup, right, the most tremendous transformations happen when you break up with someone. There's such an energy, a combustion inside that happens. Well, what are you going to do with it? That is a tremendous power. And if you look back on your past and look where you are now, you almost want to say thank you. I mean, I've been working with clients, and this one client in particular I have in mind. He was flying around the world, giving talks and stuff. He was like a tech guy, devoted to his work, and finally went on a family holiday. And it just occurred to him that he hadn't slept with his wife for about 18 months. And I didn't realize that when they were trying to be intimate. And then what come to light is actually she'd been having an affair for 18 months. Why? Well, because he just wasn't looking after that space. He went all in over there. So then they separated, and this guy was overweight, wasn't taking care of himself, his image, his physicality, social life. And then I see an update of him like 6 months later, and you just can't recognize the guy. It's just incredible. Like, you could see his abs. You can, he's taking holidays. He's looking after himself. You talk about self-love, self-care. Like, he's really tuning into that. So a lot of times I get asked, or over here, people say, "Oh no, people don't change." People don't change. I go, well, people do change. Just a significant event has to happen in their life to shake them up, to make them want to take on that change.
Agreed. Agreed. Wow, interesting. Yes, I agree about the breakups. I was married for 8 years.
Wow. 8 years, you said?
Yes.
Yeah, that's a stretch. That's good. Yeah, that's great. Wow. A lot of learning.
I'm very grateful for that period, for that experience. I was full of love. But anyway, it wasn't the right person for my life. And just want to talk about me. But then this helped me who I am now, learn a lot about it. And then from that and from other situation, which is what my dad passed away, start my journey of self-love. And that's very important.
That was a significant event.
Yes.
Yeah, those two.
So tell me, what do you think about self-love?
Self-love is so important. I mean, and it's something that, it's one of those things when when you're in a funk, you realize it's because you're out of that routine of doing that something. And it could be simply as, I was doing some videos on Instagram last year, and the videos were like, start your day the right way. Right? Start your day the right way, because we're all familiar of starting our day the wrong way. It might be oversleeping, sod the alarm, missing a workout, missing breakfast, missing your meals, and then you start punishing yourself internally, and then what happens? You push that onto other people.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so start your day the right way is simply sticking to your schedule, waking up on time, you're setting the alarm, not looking at the phone, having the shower, using your favorite moisturizer. I mean, sometimes I even put a fragrance on when I'm taking a phone call because it makes me feel good. That person's
Nice.
not going to see me, but
Yeah.
I'm gonna,
Mm-hmm.
experience myself.
Yeah.
um, getting your diet right, having a good workout schedule, getting your wardrobe sorted, getting back in tune with your hobbies and interests. Sometimes we fall out of that. Writing to-do lists, and ticking them off to build your daily self-esteem. Um, your social life as well, like being social is nourishment, and that
Mm-hmm.
can simply just be picking up the phone and speaking to a friend.
Mm-hmm.
When you leave the house, give yourself a goal of speaking to 3 people you don't know. Get yourself out of your head. And what's the byproduct of that behavior? Well, the byproduct of that behavior is when you do see someone you like, that's, I'm just talking from my world now. It's like,
Yeah, but yeah.
yeah, you're already warmed up. It's like you don't just go to the gym and lift up like 150 kilos on the bar. You build up to that. So if you start to look at being social as like a muscle, and if you don't use it, it's not going to be there for you, then kind of encouraged you just to walk up, just to start. And those social interactions could be literally throwaway compliments to people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Could be speaking to a charity worker, the ones we will dismiss on
Mm-hmm.
the way
Or
here.
the bus
The
driver,
bus driver,
or
acknowledging your Uber driver or
uh-huh,
whatever,
uh-huh.
um, making someone feel better about themselves. I've
Mm-hmm.
lost count of how many times I've got free coffee, sometimes a free meal, um, at Costa or Starbucks and stuff like that, just by slowing myself down, smiling, and
Mm-hmm.
just adding a bit of humor into my interaction. Like, if you can start your day that way, in that sort of spirit, then what can you not do? you know,
Yeah,
it's just,
good. Yeah.
but I always recognize, like, if I'm feeling low, something's missing, and it's normally my list writing, my
Mm-hmm.
to-do lists. I'll feel like I've gone off piste a little bit and a bit floaty. Um, and I think as well, like when we don't do these things, there's so many like self-help channels and all this kind of stuff that telling you this is how your morning needs to look, right? And although I've said all these things, my morning doesn't look like that every day. My day doesn't look like that every day. But if I want to have the best day or a better day, then I'll look to incorporate those things.
And I feel
Yeah.
like we are so different. I mean, like what you said, something about your morning. Like, for example, my morning, what I'm doing now as a routine is, before looking at my phone or anything, meditate for 15, 20 minutes. That
Mm.
it's like a life changing for
Yeah.
me. Yeah, and then after a coffee, and then going to the gym, and then sit down, having a shower, like looking even good. Exactly, having a shower just to sit down in my laptop if I work from home,
Yes.
because I feel more confident with
Yes.
myself, and
Yeah.
then I will deliver whatever I'm writing or whatever doing with confidence.
Yeah.
Um, nice. And then how it's that self love and that routine matters for the dating, for when you date someone or when you're going to date someone.
Well, if we just look at what I mentioned there about punishing yourself,
Mm-hmm.
if you know that 3 days a week, 4 days a week, you're going to go to the gym, and
Mm-hmm.
you've been once, right? You're then carrying around these ill thoughts with yourself. It's going, oh God, I haven't been to the gym today. I haven't been this, haven't been that. And then you're going on a date, and you're in that headspace. Then you're going to project that onto them. So then that is their experience of you. But if you are on schedule and routine, and you're winding down, because we've talked about what a good morning looks like. Also, a good evening is something to think about as well. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, if you're coming from a place of content and fulfillment, then that person's going to recognize you for that. I think another thing, like, when you're not on target with your routine and your self-love, your self-care part of your life, forgive yourself. Forgive yourself, like it's okay to be offbeat now and again. I mean, that's why if you've got a personal training program, even the personal trainer's saying have a cheat meal. Have a cheat day. Like, it's okay to have the cheat day, but don't just cheat all the way through. So yeah, I think it's important because if you're not taking care of yourself, they're then left with, well, if he can't take care of himself, how's he going to take care of me?
Yeah.
Agreed.
Interesting. Yeah, I feel like what you're saying about ending the day as well is important, and the way you end the day, well, reflects. And also, yeah, we're not perfect, we're human beings, and sometimes
there's so much pressure, like, and it's just mounting upon us. The more podcasts that we listen to, the more YouTube channels, all these self-help gurus saying, I get up, you got to beat the sun every day. Yeah, that's nice, but you don't have to do that every day.
I agree.
Like, just, be a bit more kind to yourself when you're offbeat, but try to be on beat as most as possible.
Nice. Okay, so I know you have the dating business. What would you recommend to someone single as me to do? I mean, I've been, okay, from my personal side, as I said to you, I was married for 8 years. I've been in a process of self-love during the last 3 years. Now I'm ready for mingle. I feel like, for me, I don't need anyone. I want someone.
That's
which is different.
Yeah,
I feel.
I like that.
But yeah, what do you recommend? Or to anyone that's in the same stage, or maybe in our stage?
Yeah, well, it's like I did in the talk the other night. We did an exercise on this, and this exercise was helping us have a bit more clarity on what we're looking for in someone. So those were superficial aspects. Those were the character traits of the person, how you want to feel emotionally around this person, and of course your non-negotiables. And also identifying there are going to be negotiables on this list, but it's also it's more important to work out what is not for you.
What? Okay, negotiables. Do you think that translates in boundaries, on your personal boundaries, like the non-negotiable ones?
Totally. That's why we do that exercise, because what I've come to experience working with people is that people that end up in abusive relationships are people that aren't brave enough to exercise boundaries, from the fear of for potentially losing this person. Ironically, you end up losing them. People respect you more by putting the boundaries in place. So it's so important to identify what those are for you. And boundaries aren't like hard no's, they're just a hard no for now. This awareness exercise, these lists that you end up creating, it's not gospel, it's just gives you clarity for where you are with what you want to bring into your life at that moment. When you're in relationships, I mean, relationships needs to be flexible and fluid. When you identify that you are changing, then you come around the table and you go, hey, I'm noticing this about myself, and I think this is where I'm kind of going. So I just want you to be aware that's something that's going on in my life. And I think what I've seen is people make mistakes of them experiencing these challenges and changes in their life, and then they start to think, oh, I'm not compatible with this person now. I need to find someone else. It's just like, well, come back around the table and let's discuss it.
Just talk, like, 100%.
Yeah, talk rather than just panic or anyway. So anyway, that awareness exercise is super helpful, because I think when you think about something, you start to see it more. I think a lot of people have fantasized about maybe owning a certain car, and the more you think about that car, suddenly there's triple the amount on the road than there was before.
Mm-hmm.
There wasn't. There was just your awareness has increased. So what might then happen when you think about these things is this person might already be in environments that you're already going to. You just weren't awake to it before, right? If we're really struggling to identify where this person is, we have to audit our lifestyle, right? And funny, I was just in a stationery shop the other day. I bought a new planner, and I come across this great journal book that had a weekly planner, Monday from Sunday, and I think these are really helpful tools for people just to think, okay, what am I doing every hour of the day? Who am I spending it with? Where am I spending it? Where is the availability that I have? If you're work from home, that's work from anywhere, right? You can choose the more social versions of the things that you enjoy, right? Start to have in mind of this demographic of the person that you've understood yourself to be attracted to, and start to think about your own positioning and put yourself there. If you're living a social life, and you are, like you're one of the most social people that I can see, that's a great start. So you've got the confidence, you've got the courage, you've got the tools. It's just a matter of them putting yourself in the right room, and you can get really creative with that.
Great, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will get that in my mind. Yeah. And just to end, where can we find your services and your business and everything?
Yeah, johnnycassell.com. The most active I am on social media is Instagram. That's at London Dating Coach. So yeah, I'm posting there. I'm also on Facebook as well. Just type in my name, Johnny Cassell. Any events and stuff like that will be listed there. If not, join my email list on the website.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Joining. And thank you so much for listening. Bye, guys.
Ciao.
Bye.